Welcome to BitterBuzz. Today, it's gonna be festive. Servus. We're not only looking at one beer, not just at two, but three different beers. We're gonna start with the Paulaner Marzen, then we're gonna progress to the Hofbrau Oktoberfestbier, and lastly, with the oldest brewery out of all of them, the Weihenstephaner Festbier. I'm not necessarily trying to compare the three just because the Marzen is a different style of beer than the Festbier, but it's basically just a glimpse of what Oktoberfest is like in terms of beer. 1810 was the year in which the first Oktoberfest was hosted by Crown Prince Ludwig and Princess Therese of Saxony-Hildburghausen. It was an event full of horse races and then progressed into some sort of like carnival attire fun mess that we now call Oktoberfest. And usually before you dive into beer drinking, the mayor of Munich would say "Ozapftes," which means now you can zapfen the beer because he has opened up the keg. Paulaner dates back to 1634 and it's one of the big 6 breweries that is allowed to brew and then serve their beer at Oktoberfest. The Marzen usually has that copper nickel dark amber color. Let's smell it. A little bit like sulfur, a little bit more suffig, like boozy, and very sweet due to the maltiness. Now I'm going to say it at the best of my abilities. Eins, zwei, Xofa. Definitely a little bit more boozy, more heavy, slightly spiced. You definitely get the maltiness, the sweetness, not herbal, but also like herbal and doughy at the same time, like herbal spiced bread. And a Marzen does have that tendency to be a little bit more bold and stronger. It's 5.8%. Okay, I think everything's set up. Next we have Hofbrau, the Oktoberfestbier, which is a German pale lager and not a Marzen. Wow, this is so much more golden with a beautiful foam foundation, very carbonated. It's probably the most golden beer that I've seen so far. Okay, I feel like this is the one that I'm most familiar with. Just that smell brings me back to the Oktoberfests in Germany. I've never been to the OG Oktoberfest, but this hits more like home, I'd say. Still has that maltiness, but it's more yeasty, more crisp and beer-like. Eins, zwei, Xofa. It's lighter, but much more sweeter. Has a little bit more of the hoppiness coming through, slightly more carbonated, and I'd say that you can definitely drink more of this than with the Marzen. Although I think it's the exact same alcohol percentage, or is it not? No, this is a 6.3, and beware, it does not taste like a 6.3. It's almost like citrusy. Lemon or orange peel. I wouldn't say it's the most delicious beer that I've had, but it's definitely crisp, it's very refreshing. Maybe slightly sweeter with a honey, some caramel or toffee flavor, but it has a lot of still like herbal spice or something like that. Okay, let's move to the last Festbier. Okay, lastly, Weihenstephaner, and that brewery dates back to 768. At least that's when the first evidence of hop came into play. The brewery, Weihenstephaner, was then founded in 1040 and hence has been one of the most, I guess, respected breweries in the entirety of the world, that especially since they all follow the German purity law. And what is better than having that under your belt? So let's see what this Festbier has to offer. Out of the two Festbier, I'd say this is less carbonated. It has less of a foam foundation, which doesn't necessarily mean anything in regard to the beer and its quality. I wonder if this one is not filtered, because I do see some particles. I guess that's just my glass. Very similar in smell as the other Oktoberfest beer. However, slightly more mild. It still has that sweeter honey maltiness, but it is more hoppy and has that herbal spice to it. Yet everything toned down. Und zwar Xofa. This one has more of a lemon aroma to it, a lemon taste. I would say it's more mild in flavor. It tastes lighter, it feels lighter, it's slightly less carbonated, and even though it's not as dominant and complex, I would say, this is more drinkable, refreshing, and I would say out of the three, you can consume more liters of this one compared to those two. But definitely lemon-like, definitely more refreshing, maybe a bit more hop, but I think it's because the sweetness doesn't get through beside of the lemon. It's just more mild, more balanced out, and I really appreciate that about this Festbier. I try to rearrange it in the order. Hold on. That scared me. Oh, and I also mix it up. I don't know what to do. Anyways, let's just continue. No, I gotta change it. Okay, that's better. We started with a Paulaner Marzen, we progressed with a Hofbrau Oktoberfestbier, and lastly, we had the Weihenstephaner Festbier. I would say that the Hofbrau Oktoberfestbier was my least favorite just because it reminded me too much of my past, and that is not necessarily a good thing, especially if you want to drink a little bit more of it. It's just a flavor that lingers, and I don't necessarily want that. My second favorite is the Paulaner Marzen. It is heavier, it is suffiger, it is more herbal spiced. Not something that you could drink a lot of, but if I were to drink more of something, I would choose this one over that one. And that leaves us with the Weihenstephaner Festbier. Even though slightly more mild, it is definitely more approachable, easier, and way more refreshing than the rest of them. I believe one last phrase that we like to say is ein Prosit der Gemütlichkeit, which is also a song that I can't rephrase because I can't sing. Anywho, with that said, I hope you get to enjoy at least one Oktoberfest during October or even September. Get together and enjoy the festivities. Thanks for watching, and servus.